In this video, we are going to practice our algebra in the context of angle pairs. So we will be dealing with concepts like complementary, supplementary, and congruent, but essentially we will be practicing our algebra skills. We will also be dealing with special angle pairs like alternate interior angles, alternate exterior angles, vertical angles, etc. All right, but watch out for the algebra. So first, let's practice our basic solving equation skills. When you look at an equation, look for the variables. If there's more than one variable, you have to get them together. So you have to look at a problem like this and go, okay, I see the 8x and I see the 4x. Are they on the same side of the equation, or are they on opposite sides of the equation? In this case, they are on the same side of the equation. So we are going to just combine like terms. We're not going to add or subtract from both sides of the equation. We're just going to combine like terms. We also have these constants on the same side of the equation. So if you have like terms on the same side, you combine them. So 8x plus 4x, that's going to give us 12x. So that's what we get from the yellows. From the blues, negative 6 and 18 makes 12. So we have 12x plus 12 is equal to 180. We have to get x by itself, so our next step is to subtract 12 from both sides. So that's going to leave us with 12x is equal to 168. And then finally, we need to divide both sides by 12. Okay, so that's going to give us x equals 14. So x is equal to 14. All right, looking at equation B, we're going to do the same type of thing. Okay, this time, notice that the 8x and the 4x are on opposite sides of the equal sign. So I can't just combine like terms this time. This time, I need to subtract from one side of the equation. So for example, I'm going to subtract 4x from both sides of the equation to move the 4x over to be with the 8x. And then I have 8x minus 4x. That's going to give me 4x. Now I will just bring down the minus 6 is equal to 18. Again, these are on opposite sides of the equation, so I need to add 6 to both sides. All right, I'm kind of doing the opposite. That will cancel these out and leave me with 4x is equal to 24. Then I'm going to divide both sides by 4 to get x by itself. And that's going to leave me with x equals 6. Okay. Look at equation C. Look for your like terms. Are they on the same side of the equation? So I see I've got 8x and I've got plus 4x. These are on the same side of the equation. I'm just going to combine like terms. The negative 6 and the positive 18, same side of the equation, just like equation A. So I'm just going to be combining like terms right now. So just like I got when I did it over here, I'm going to get 12x plus 12. Of course, over on this side, I have 90 this time. So got to get x by itself. So we will subtract 12 from both sides, and that's going to give me 12x is equal to 78. And then I have to divide both sides by 12. Because that will get x by itself. So that's going to give me x is equal to 6.5. So for problem number 2, match each problem below to an equation above, then use that information to finish the question. Interesting. So I guess we're going to need to use these 3 equations, equation A, B, and C. Okay, so angle P and Q are complementary. So remember that complementary means that they add to 90 degrees. All right, that's what complementary means. All right, the 2 angles have to add to 90 degrees. So that means that 8x minus 6 plus 4x plus 18 has to equal 90. Okay, so they have to add up to 90. So 8x minus 6 plus 4x plus 18 must equal 90. Well, so which equation is that? All right, well, you see it right here. 8x minus 6 plus 4x plus 18 equals 90. That's equation C. And based on that, we know that x equals 6.5. We already found that. So x is equal to 6.5. So based on that, now they want us to plug in x to find the angle measures. So, okay, so we're going to find angle P and angle Q. So the measure of angle P is 8x minus 6. So that's going to be 8 times 6.5 minus 6. So that's 46. All right, 46 degrees. Now let's find the measure of angle Q. Measure of angle Q, that's 4x plus 18. All right, so that's 4 times 6.5 plus 18. So I could do this, or I could remember what complementary means. Complementary means they have to add up to 90. So it would be actually a little bit quicker. Well, I guess that's what they want us to do down here. It would be a little bit quicker to just subtract from 90. So I could just do 90 minus 46. All right, but it looks like that's kind of what they want me to do down here. So maybe we'll stick to my original plan for now. Okay, so 4 times 6.5 plus 18. So that's 44. Show a little work to check your answer here. So these angles are supposed to be complementary, so they have to add up to 90. So that means to check my answer, I should add these up and see if they equal 90 or not. So 46 plus 44, we already know that they do add up to 90. But let's go through the motions. And sure enough, we get 90. Okay, let's do that again. All right, supplementary. Supplementary means that they add to 180 degrees, all right? That's what supplementary means. So this plus this have to equal 180. So looking back at the equations, that's what we have right here. We have this plus this equals 180. That's supplementary. So we know that x turns out to be 14, and that was equation A. So now let's find the angle. So the measure of angle R is 8x minus 6. So that's going to be 8 times 14 minus 6. So that's 106. And now let's find the measure of angle S. Okay, and that's 4x plus 18. So that's 4 times 14 plus 18. So that is 74. All right, let's do this one more time. Congruent. Congruent means equal. All right, so this equals that. So when I look up here, that's what I see in equation B. I see this equals this. All right, they're straight up equal. That's equation B. And the answer is 6. So the equation is B. The answer is x equals 6. So let's find the measure of angle T is 8x minus 6. So that's going to be 8 times 6 minus 6. Okay, so that's going to be 42. And now let's find the measure of angle U. The measure of angle U. So that's going to be 4x plus 18. So that's going to be 4 times 6 plus 18. And that is also 42. Okay. Hey, I just realized I forgot to check my answer on the last problem, so I need to go back and do that. So supplementary. These two angles were supposed to be supplementary. So that means they have to add up to 180. So my check would be, does 106 plus 74 equal 180? All right, we can see that they do, but if somehow you were unable to see that, you might plug it into your calculator, I guess. I really hope you can see it without a calculator. But anyway, there's my little tiny bit of work showing that I'm checking my answer. All right, they in fact do add up to 180. If I feel very silly checking my work for this one, because all we could really do, if they're supposed to be congruent, that means they're supposed to be equal. So I'm not sure what to do other than say 42 equals 42. Check. All right, that was silly. But there you go. Now, problem number 3. These are blanks. All right, we're supposed to pick one of these. So they are blank. We're going to pick one of these. So here we go. These angles are alternate interior angles. All right, they are interior because they are between the lines, and they are alternate because they're on opposite sides of the line. So they're alternate interior angles. And these little red arrows mean that the lines are parallel. So if the lines are parallel, then they are going to be congruent. Alternate interior angles are going to be congruent. All right, which means that these two are going to equal each other. So that means that 26x plus 6 should equal 110. And to solve this, we would subtract 6 from both sides. So that'll give us 26x is equal to 104. And then we will divide both sides by 26. So that's 4. So x equals 4. All right, moving on to problem number 4. These angles are what you call a linear pair. All right, a linear pair is what you get when you have two angles that form a straight line. So together, and sometimes I like to color them, so this angle right here, all right, which I just colored in yellow, and then the other angle, the 118 right here, that I'm coloring in blue. And when you put them together, they make a nice straight line. That's what a linear pair is. And a linear pair is always going to be supplementary. All right, because a straight line is 180 degrees. It's a 180 degree angle. So supplementary. So that means these two have to add up to 180. That means that 2x plus 28 plus 118 has to equal 180. All right, they add up to 180. However, right here, I've got some like terms. The 28 and the 118, those are like terms. They are on the same side of the equation. So I'm just going to add them together. So I'm going to bring down the 2x. And this is going to be 146. Whoops, not equal. Hold on. So 2x plus 146 is equal to 180. Okay, so we're doing 28 plus 114. No, it wasn't 114. It was 118. Okay, that's why I'm getting 146, by the way. So to get x by itself, I need to subtract 146 from both sides. So that's going to give me 2x is equal to 100, not 100. That's going to be 34. All right, I'm doing 180 minus 146. And then finally, we need to divide both sides by 2. And that will get x by itself. All right, and that will be 17. All right, how about number 5? Well, these are consecutive interior angles. All right, where is that? So these are called consecutive interior angles. They are interior because they are between the lines. They are consecutive because they are on the same side of this line, the transversal. They're on the same side of the transversal. If they were on opposite sides, they would be alternate interior. But these are consecutive interior. Sometimes these are called same side interior. That's the same thing. Anyway, consecutive interior angles are always supplementary. Okay, so I'm going to, they have to add up to 180. So I'm going to have 6x plus 14 plus 8x plus 12 is equal to 180. So 6x plus 8x, all right, I'm just combining these like terms, that's going to be 14x. And then 14 and 12 is 26. Okay, so I've just combined like terms. Now I need to subtract the 26 from both sides. So I'm going to get 14x is equal to 154. Because I'm doing 180 minus 26. And then we will divide by 14 to get x by itself. $11. All right, one more. So angles like these are called alternate exterior angles. All right, alternate exterior angles. They are exterior because they are not between the lines. All right, this yellow part is the interior. It's between the lines. But these are not between the lines, so they are exterior. And again, the word alternate means that they are on opposite sides of the transversal line. Okay, angles like these are always congruent if the lines are parallel, which they are. Oh, by the way, when I said that consecutive interior angles are supplementary, that's only if the lines are parallel. All right, did I say that for number 4? The linear pair will always be supplementary. The parallel lines have nothing to do with it. All right, but these two things are true only if the lines are parallel. So these should be congruent because the lines are parallel, which means that they should equal each other. So that's why I should have 15x minus 5 equals 14x plus 2. So these terms are on opposite sides of the equation. So I'm not going to just combine them. I need to subtract 14x from both sides to get them together. All right, that way these cancel each other out. 15 minus 14 is 1. So I'm just going to have x, 1x, or just x minus 5 is equal to 2. And then to get x by itself, I just add 5 to both sides. So that tells me that x is equal to 7.